stand in our way. I will finish what you started.
Zelda news is on the rise. Honestly, I haven't felt so invigorated in such a considerable period of time. Last time I briefly mentioned the Wolf Link Amiibo. Now we have information that the Amiibo will unlock an entire dungeon in Twilight Princess HD. This honestly could mean a lot of things. I do want to point out one thing. February 21st marks the 30th anniversary of the Zelda series. Call it a hunch, but I do suspect a Nintendo Direct dropping sometime around that date, possibly discussing TPHD, or perhaps even Zelda Wii U. Now that we have that out of the way, let's look at the amiibo that will probably be the cause of many riots at your local game store. That's right, the Wolf Link Amiibo. You know what? I'm impressed. I did not expect Nintendo to go as far as including a brand new dungeon in TPHD, but not only is Nintendo including that, but they are making adjustments to the game in general. For example, lowering the amount of light spirit you need to find, and getting a massive wallet upgrade. The dungeon in question is supposedly called Twilight Cave. No other further details about it has been revealed thus far, but we can make some educated guesses about the name. Since the word cave is used in the title, we can assume that the dungeon takes place, well, in a cave. Looking at the TP map, that can be virtually anywhere. Also, the word Twilight is a part of the title. We can probably infer there will be some Twilight aspects found within the dungeon. And now it is time for some theorizing. Since data can be transferred from TPHD to Zelda Wii U, it is not too far off to say that perhaps this extra dungeon has something to do with both games. Spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't played Twilight Princess. At the end of the game, the hero of Twilight leaves Ordon Village to do who knows what. The game is pretty vague about what happens to Hyrule after the events of the Shadow Invasion. What if this extra dungeon acts as an epilogue of sorts concerning the story of Twilight Princess? I know this may be a stretch, but I just can't help to speculate. What if Zelda Wii U takes place in the child timeline, right after the events of Twilight Princess? There is proof to support this theory. We do see the Great Bridge of Hylia. In addition, the horse known as Epona has only appeared 4 times in the Zelda series, and 3 of these appearances all correlate towards the child timeline. So in other words, if there is a connection between TPHD and Zelda Wii U, perhaps the dungeon known as the Twilight Cave will reveal some information. But speculation aside, I do feel as though this dungeon has something to do with the amiibo's functionality in Zelda Wii U. Perhaps not as directly in the story though. TPHD is set to be released on March, but I do feel as though Nintendo will launch a Nintendo Direct to discuss more about it. And since the 30th anniversary of the Zelda series is only a month away, perhaps there will be a Zelda Direct around that time. Maybe we will get more info concerning Zelda Wii U. And that is not the end of it. Nintendo executive Kimishima recently expressed intent that Nintendo characters will be used in anime. I am guessing that it will be used in a similar fashion to the one in the Smash 4 trailers. You know, that is a thought. A Zelda anime. The possibilities there are quite considerable, and this all fits in the vein of Nintendo's policy to grab new consumers. But what else can we infer about the story of Zelda Wii U? Well, it is all theories. I'll let you all know that right now. From all the trailers we have seen on Zelda Wii U, the overworld seems to be teeming with nature. We have several farming communities living in these sectors, and at the middle of it stands our blue tunic chum, Link. He wears these Gerudo-styled gauntlets, a hood with currently unknown symbols on it, and in the latest trailer, a long sword. His horse, known as Epona, has a bunch of equipment on her, such as sleeping bags, shields, a sword, and this book with the Sheikah eye symbol on it. Now, what does all this mean? Well, for one thing, this Link is out for blood. Well, not really. This Link, compared to most other ones, seems to be more dexterous and a bit of a lone wolf. Not only is he able to use makeshift arrows effectively, but he can wield a long sword and apparently explore dangerous territories. Which brings us to our next point. In the first trailer regarding Zelda Wii U, Eiji Aonuma did express how he liked to include powerful enemies in peaceful worlds. While this is a gameplay convention, perhaps this has something to do with the Zelda Wii U story. The enemy Beamos thing does appear to be aged, so I am under the impression that the overworld has just been recently settled by Hylians. This is where we enter the Skyward Sword sequel theory. After the events of that game, the Skyloftians settled down to the surface. Zelda Wii U may tell what happened to Hyrule after the events of Skyward Sword, but how do we explain the Great Bridge of Hylia? The bridge appears in Twilight Princess, but that game potentially takes place thousands of years after Skyward Sword. But that bridge may not be the Bridge of Hylia. For all we know, it could be something else entirely. Another theory is that Zelda Wii U will take place somewhere in the Downfall timeline. I know this timeline is often criticized of being the one where Nintendo just dumps Zelda games they have no idea where else to fit in the chronology. Just look at Triforce Heroes. Originally, Nintendo said the game was not canon, only to come back and say, oh, it's part of the Downfall timeline, here you go. Or Zelda Wii U can take place in the adult timeline, perhaps in New Hyrule, after the events of Spirit Tracks. But what do you guys think? In the last video, Christopher Hayes noted that before the events of Minish Cap, the hero of men saved Hyrule. Since Minish Cap takes place after Skyward Sword, perhaps the Link in Zelda Wii U is the hero of men. Max7i says that Zelda Wii U might take place after the events of Zelda 2, which may be likely, since Aonuma has compared Zelda Wii U to the original Zelda game an awful lot. In addition, we do have a similar scene of Link overseeing a cliff. But what do you guys think? What will the story of Zelda Wii U be like? Comment below, and I'll feature comments in the next episode. Episode 3 won't be out until 2 weeks from now. I am in the process of making a Zelda theory, which should be out next Monday. It may or may not be about the fierce deity. If you want to hear more from me, I made a guest appearance over at Commonwealth Realms channel to talk about Metroid. Interestingly, the voice of Shoddycast storyteller Jason Dameron also makes an appearance. But anyways, I hope you all have a great rest of the day. And here is the video of the day.
I just talked to HMK. Things are just about ready for the anniversary.
So, how are the others doing?
Fairly well, more or less. I'm going to meet up with Dr. Wily soon.
And that's the last one. Thanks for the assist, Pumpkaboo.
I'm glad he took care of the Lakers. How's the new suit, by the way?
It feels like a dream, Jack.